is a celebration. The American spirit is alive and well. And we have once again nominated for president the founding father of the America First movement, Donald John Trump. But an American government that serves the interests not of the wealthy, the globalist, or the powerful few, but of all hardworking Americans is within our grasp.
Well, the Republican Party's luster seems to be wearing off for Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene because she's now questioning whether she even belongs in the GOP. Over the weekend, she had an interview with the Daily Mail about a possible break with the Republican Party due to their betrayal of the MAGA base. But interestingly enough, she excludes Donald Trump from this argument and conversation. And I think she's making a mistake with that, and I'll explain why. First, here are a few quotes that she gave the Daily Mail. Quote, "I don't know if the Republican Party is leaving me or if I'm kind of not relating to the Republican Party as much anymore. I don't know which one it is. I think the Republican Party has turned its back on America first and the workers and just regular Americans." Well, Congresswoman Greene, I don't know if she'll ever see this, but Republican members of Congress never believed in America first. In fact, I know for a fact that most Republican lawmakers loathe Donald Trump and felt pressure by the MAGA base to pretend like they believed in America first. But I think the real problem here is that based on Trump's own actions, it doesn't appear that he himself is America first. Yet she says that she still doesn't have any kind of problem with Trump specifically, and that her fidelity with the president is still strong. Well, the FEMA just today, Donald Trump's FEMA, just put out a notice saying any state or municipality that criticizes Israel, engages in the boycott, divest movement as a result of their genocide against the Palestinian people, will be deprived of FEMA funds if a tragedy or natural disaster occurs.
Yeah, so no, I think it's a positive step forward. Now I get that people have to take a number of steps to get there. So the fact that she's saying there's something wrong with the Republican Party, I think is actually really important. I think it's a little bit of a seminal moment. And so if you say, well, I mean, it's just Marjorie Taylor Greene. No, but the base turns first, and the people who are closest to the base turn first, right? And if you don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of the closest to the MAGA base, you just don't know American politics, right? And so, and what she's saying in essence is actually similar to what I'm saying, but from the left, right? I say from the left, she says it from the right. In fact, I did a whole jubilee about it just now. I took on 10 Democrats and 10 Republicans. Why? Because the politicians themselves do not represent the voters. So in her case, what she's saying is, look, MAGA wants what? X, Y, and Z, right? And she's a hypocrite on some of this stuff too. Like MAGA wanted to reduce the deficit. They just added $4 trillion to the debt. So that doesn't make any sense. MAGA didn't want war, and then Trump bombed Israel. Now she was opposed to that. Okay, MAGA didn't want more money going to Israel in foreign aid. They're spending more money to Israel for, and then it goes list Epstein files and on and on and on and on, right? Andrew Schultz saying something similar. Now he's not MAGA, but he did vote for Trump. He's a lifelong Democrat, but he's like, Jesus Christ, he isn't doing a single thing. But it's not just Trump, it's not just Mike Johnson, it's the entire party itself. And remember, I also think that it's the Democratic Party that are playing good cop, bad cop on us. So whenever the Democrats are in charge, they don't do anything they say. Republicans, same thing, right? So the fact that US congressmen are beginning to realize their own party is the problem is a really good moment in American politics. Like Mike Johnson is never ever going to give you what you want, even if you're hardcore MAGA.
So, she's taken issue with some of the foreign policy that Republican lawmakers have supported. So I actually want to go to a video featuring her in the last few weeks, basically criticizing the party and condemning the US military's involvement in Iran.
Now, I'm not making apologies for Iran. I have no investment in the terrorist regime of Iran. But the reality is no American slept better after America bombed Iran, because all of a sudden we now have threats on our homeland. We now have warnings from our State Department for Americans overseas. MAGA is not for foreign wars.
Yep.
We are not for regime change. and we are for America first. That's 6 months in, Steve, and here we are turning back on the campaign promises, and we bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Yes, it was on behalf of Israel. We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III, because the entire world is going to erupt. And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag-draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN that brainwashes all the Democrat baby boomers.
What is happening right now? That was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, because it's absolutely true. She also has said in the interview with the Daily Mail, quote, like, what happened to all these issues, meaning America First issues? You know that I don't know what the hell happened with the Republican Party. I really don't. But I'll tell you one thing. The course that it's on, I don't want to have anything to do with it, and I just don't care anymore. And so some of the priorities included a stop to, funding foreign wars and foreign aid, continuing to use Doge to shave down government expenditures and waste. So clearly we still have some pretty significant disagreements with her. But the point of this whole story is she wants to focus on America. And she's looking at the whole of the Republican Party and she's like, oh my God, they don't really seem to care about America at all, and have completely abandoned the very policies they pretended to care about leading up to the election.
I was led to believe that no one in MAGA would revolt. Okay, so let's talk about the oil subsidies, because she mentioned Doge, right? So there's parts, sometimes people say, Cenk, why are you against Doge? Don't you want to cut waste, fraud, and abuse? Of course I do. But did Doge actually cut waste, fraud, and abuse? Did it miss some things? So the oil companies were being getting $35 billion a year, 10 times what Israel gets. Every year, subsidies are tax dollars to them, richest people in the world, richest companies in the world. And now Trump added $18 billion more in subsidies. Why don't we get the 53 billion back? Nope. It's corruption, period.
No, I mean, it's totally true. Everything that was focused on in regard to cuts were essentially cuts to public services that benefit ordinary Americans. I mean, trying to gut the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, shutting down Social Security field offices. You look at Congress, you get these massive tax cuts that do disproportionately benefit the most affluent, the richest people in the country. Yes. Some Americans, working class Americans got some tax breaks as well. I don't want to minimize that, but why did the rich have to get additional tax breaks? That makes no sense. And at the same time, you see $1.1 trillion cut for Medicaid. Lots of concern that hospitals in rural parts of the country will shutter as a result of those cuts. I mean, it's a complete and utter disaster. And in the meantime, we keep shelling out tens of billions of dollars to Israel to carry out atrocities in the Gaza Strip and steal more land on behalf of their Greater Israel project. So look, I will take it. I will take any member of Congress who has even a modicum of clarity on what's actually happening and where the priorities are for our lawmakers. The priorities are not the American people. The priorities are not about doing what's necessary to improve conditions in this country or to lower the deficit or deal with our $37 trillion in debt. Their priorities are themselves, their political careers, and I would venture to say for some powerful people in our government, avoiding the release of any type of blackmail that a foreign government might have on them, especially as it pertains to pedophilia. Cenk.
If you say, yeah, but see, the Democrats are way better. Wait, are they? Okay, so in a sense they are, because if you're a Republican, sorry guys, but you just gave the oil companies another $18 billion. Why? Why did you take it from us and from you and give it to super profitable companies? It makes no sense. Oh, right, they gave $450 million in just the last election cycle to Republicans and Democrats, right? But now if you're a Democrat, wait, they've been getting $35 billion a year throughout all of this. So why didn't the Democrats take out their subsidies? Right, they didn't even talk about their subsidies. Isn't that weird? Guys, it's so obvious what's happening. We've been saying it on this show for, well, let's see, I started Wolfpack in 2011, so 14 years straight at a bare minimum, okay? It's the money, Lebowski, okay? So almost all of our politicians are bought. They're corrupt. They're the very worst people in the country. They're the ones who say, I will give I will rob the American people on behalf of my donors. So Marjorie Taylor Greene just found that out about her own party, which you could say, hey, welcome to the party. We've been here a while. On the other hand, you could say, hey, you know what? That's a US congressperson that came to the right conclusion. Great, yes. Yeah. And by the way, many on the Democratic side, Ro Khanna, AOC, et cetera, don't take corporate PAC money. And they realize that that's what's corrupting, right? But there's only a handful of people in Congress who are honest and actually try to represent you. Everyone else is a crook, a professional, robber. And they just happen to go into Congress to rob you on behalf of their donors. That's what's happening. And if you're a Democrat or Republican, wake up, wake up. You have to get money out. Last thing is, how do you get money out? Fightcorruption.us. Go join fightcorruption.us. Otherwise, they're gonna win from here to eternity. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.